at the Chumash, right? It says Vaychuli Terumah. And what is it connected to? It connects it to Pasuk. Ki lekach. What does lekach mean?
A good purchase.
A good purchase, right? A good purchase, something good. Good asset,
deal.
good inventory, good deal. Ki lekach tov natati lachem. I gave you a good deal. Torati al ta'azovu. Don't leave it. Okay, so what does he say? He says sometimes when you buy something, it'll have kesef but won't have zahab. Or it'll have zahab but it won't have kesef. This is all the midrash. Okay? Or sometimes your person's going to, so he says, sometimes you buy something and you don't have, I'm waiting for you, I'm waiting to know what you're going to bring back from the farm. I'm excited. I didn't see you last week. I'm excited.
Cauliflower.
Where was it?
I don't know, not here.
Larry's in the house.
He took attendance.
Chips, pretzels.
Yeah, we stepped up our game.
What about
What is-
like? Do you own a farm?
No, he works on a farm. Long story. Let's go.
Alright, cool.
So look, the Midrash says, "Vaychuli terumah." It says, "Vaychuli terumah." Ki lekach tov natati lechem torati al ta'azovu. So he says, "Al ta'azvu et hamekach sheli." Don't forsake the acquisition that I'm giving you. Why? Because sometimes somebody could acquire something that has gold, but it doesn't have silver. Or if it has silver, it doesn't have gold. But mine, the Torah that I'm giving you, has both. Yes, kesef and yes, gam zahav. About the mega sheratati lachem, right, has both, and he gives a pasuk for each one, right, in the midrash. Yesh shecha adam lokeh sadot aval lo keramim. You have a guy that sometimes will acquire a piece of land that you can put a sadeh, or you can put keramim, a field, all right, a vineyard, right, and you won't be able to buy a property that does both. You're not going to remember we talked about it. You can't make an etrog field in Brooklyn.
It's not zoned.
It ain't zoned because the climate's not there. You got to go to Morocco. Right, so, but mine, he says, the lekat that I'm giving you, the thing that you're acquiring from me, has both. Has sadot and keramim. Moshe, what are you making a sadeh? What are you planting a sadeh?
Trees.
Yeah, it's kind of right. I don't know, wheat.
By the way, isn't it Zayin Adar?
Yeah.
No, tonight.
Adar Rishon.
Adar Aleph. No, he's not that big.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah,
But there are some who would know it. There's Everything is in our bed, no?
but he's
Oh, no.
So
If
it's
there
like-
was a
it's like
double,
Purim Katan, it's like
if
Moshe
there was a
Rabbeinu's
Shana Mubarak, then it stays in the same month.
Okay, so again, so you have some
He was
guys.
in Shana Mu'beret and he was in Aleph.
Wow.
Right.
Who was Shana
No, I'm
Milben?
saying unless it was someone, if somebody,
We'll look up that Zera, maybe it's in here.
no, I'm saying
Somebody's
unless somebody
name.
was moved up.
Somebody's born.
You know who's
Adar
born
Aleph.
on a Shana Milben? Tom the handyman.
He's 19 and a half years old.
So I told him,
My brother was
so
born in
that's
Saturday.
why you don't smile, huh? You know, not too many birthdays. Okay, boys, listen up. So again, so he says sometimes you have mekach, you have silver, you have gold. Okay, sometimes so mine has both. Some has sadot, some has keramim. Mine has both. Yesh lecha adam lekeach. This is a great one. You have something that a guy acquires and nobody knows the value. The number was undisclosed. Nobody knows. Okay, no one knows how much it is. The only way you know how important it is, or how big of a deal it was from the broker. The broker gets his CM, right? He gets his commission. So whatever the broker gets, that's how you know it must have been a crazy deal. The guy bought a house. The guy bought a house on the water. It must have been something big. I don't know how much, but it must be something big. She goes, with me, same thing. It says, Ela misachah shelakach Moshe Rabbeinu, that he comes down, Moshe lo yada ki karan or panav. Moshe Rabbeinu had such a light coming from his face, he didn't even know what he received, and the only way you were able to see was, he couldn't even see. So the broker that gave us the Torah, it's amazing, right? Isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful.
So this is the Midrash. Now, I don't know about you guys.
Wait, so here the broker didn't know.
Alright, the broker didn't know. No, it's not that the broker knew or not, it's the sachar that the broker received. And he received keren or parav, and it was beautiful, but he didn't even know that he got it, but it's not the point. The point is that he got it.
Shechina.
But it's the point that he got it on his face.
Shechina.
I don't know Shekhinah. I don't know, you don't label the Shekhinah? You're not going to label the Shekhinah. No, it's odd.
No,
I don't know if you're going to label it Shekhinah. It's not the Shekhinah on his face.
It says by Moshe,
I don't know if you would label it as the Shekhinah.
Hashem harat et ha'otiyot, and all of the gems that fell, Moshe got to keep.
No, that's not the gems. That's the when he made the luchot.
Right.
All
Right, there were gems, there was diamonds.
Yeah, because there was.
You're saying maybe it was.
a whole lot of money.
You're saying maybe it's greater than the Shechina.
Not greater or worse. It's from the Torah. It's the look. You
You
learn
ever, see
something.
it, you ever see it, Sadiq, that he walks into a room and you see a light emanating from his face? It's the O. That's what he's talking about.
And it was an order so strong that you couldn't look at him. Imagine. I don't know what that is. Okay. So now, but the midrash is beautiful, but you have a problem. It makes no sense. It doesn't. What is Vaychudi terumah? Right? Take a terumah from me. Right? Have to do with lekach tov natati lachem torati al ta'azovu. This pasuk is talking. What does Vaychudi terumah mean? Moshe, picking on you tonight. You ditched me for 3 weeks. You're gonna pay the price. What does Vaychudi terumah mean? Mordechai.
Take a
Terumah. Take something
for
you know.
Hashem.
Right. Take something from Hashem, from your heart. Right. Whatever you want to give. Right. Whatever you want to give. What does that have to do with ki lekach tov natati lachem torati al ta'azovu?
The only
The midrashim is supposed to help explain the pesukim of what it's talking
connection is
about.
the word lekach and yichud.
Very cool.
That's the only connection.
But you're right.
Well, I'm saying there's no
Right.
other
But there's nothing real there.
Right.
Okay. Upshat midrash ze atamuha. Veyesh lomar et shenoda. We know the Zera Berach writes in Megillat Esther. It writes in Megillat Esther that the Torah is split into 3 categories. You have Helek Hamaaseh,
Halacha lemase.
just Maaseh.
Maase is
Fine.
halacha lemase.
Okay.
Or it's the pshat story.
No, it's Maaseh. It's mitzvot.
What?
It's mitzvot. Helek Iyun. Iyun is learning one thing from another. The Bible talked about coming up with Hidushim, right? On this learning. And the third category is the sod part.
It's a chidush he's saying because really we know 4 parts.
No, we know. No, Pardes. I thought about it. Pardes is just how to understand the Torah. This is talking about the Torah split into 3 categories. You could say both. Because really, what's the difference? You tell me the difference. What's the difference between the Parshat Derash? The Parshat Derash Demisod is just how to explain the Torah. There's 4 categories of how it means, of how you can look at the Torah. Right? Of how you can look at the Torah. This is talking about the separation between the 3. So we're going to review. By the way, I hope people don't come late because they know I'm going to start from the beginning. So look, we have a midrash that says Veichuli Terumah. Right? By the way, why do I do the review? Because of you. I learned from you. Because when I started giving classes, I would go over it once, and I'd keep going because I don't understand. I keep going too fast. I'm not getting it. So I'm like, yeah, of course, because it took me 10 times to understand it. So why would I expect anyone to be any less? So I learned from you, amen. Legit. So thanks. Again, midrash.
Shoot 1 bullet and hit, then 10 and miss.
You were doing good. I don't know what that means.
It means exactly what you just said. In other words, like shoot 1, give me the information that I get it. It's like 1 bullet, lavdil, and to shoot thousands and miss, and I can get nothing.
Right. Say a lot in the same amount of time and not get much. Okay. The midrash says, we're doing gimel. Drasha gimel. Vaychuli terumah says, take from me a terumah from everybody. Right? Connects it with pasuk ki lekach tov natati lachem torati al ta'azovu. Right? I gave you a good asset. Right? Torati al ta'azovu. Don't leave my Torah. That's the thing. What is the midrash? Midrash continues and says that there are people that acquire. Don't leave my acquisition. Don't leave my asset that I'm giving you. Some people acquire land that you can only that you can buy. You can acquire something and it has gold but doesn't have silver, or it might have silver but it doesn't have gold. You buy a house and go, this is good, but the kitchen's no good. The kitchen's great, but the den's no good. You know, you don't get the perfect deal.
No view, no garden.
No view. I want the garden view.
The neighbor's no good.
The neighbor's no good. Shared driveway. The wife is still here.
No shalom bayit.
So, but what I'm giving you has both. Has both. Focus.
I'm
Has
very
both.
focused.
No, focus here.
It's a shadow.
Who cares? Okay, now what? You have both. You have this. This ain't the Wild West. Okay, I know how you.
Definitely
It is Wild East, man.
The Wild East. So he gets. So he says what? He goes kilek aktov, right? Some things have gold, some things have silver, but I have both, and he gives pesukim for both. Then he says some people can buy a piece of property and will be able to plant sadot and or keramim, but never both. Sometimes keramim, I can only put vineyards here. I can't put fruit trees, or I can put fruit trees. I can't put the other one. But this one's got both. The Torah's got both, right? And then there's a third category where people buy something and nobody even knows what it's worth. It's such a big deal that nobody's talked about it. They only know from the reward that the broker receives. From the reward that the broker receives. And how do we know? We know from Moshe Rabbeinu. It comes down, Or Panav. right? And he didn't have no idea what he got. Then well, Bnei Yisrael knew whatever he has is really heavy duty because he has his light, his face is lit. I mean, you know, and that's the thing.
That's a deal.
That's it. That's enough. Now the question is, now explaining what is the connection between Vaikuli Terumah with the fact that it's all great and dandy. It makes a lot of sense. Okay, but what does it have to do with Terumah, with the Mishkan? So he explains that the Zera Berach, right, breaks the Torah down into three categories. One is Maaser, you do mitzvot. The second one is Iyun, where you learn it. And the third part is the sword, the secrets behind the mitzvot, the secrets behind why we say Shema, secrets why we do Netilat Yadayim, secrets why we wear tzitzit, 4 corners, not 5 corners, all these different things. That's the three categories where things fall into. Okay? This is the Zera Berach writes in Megillat Esther. And now he's going to show you that each category goes to each part of the Midrash. Remember, the Midrash gave you 3 things. Zahavo Kesef was the first one. Yeah, what's the second? Was Sadoto Kramim. And third was nobody even knows except the broker. From the broker's reward. Not even the broker knows. The broker didn't even know. So the first one was the Hedek Maaseh. What's the Maaseh? The Midrash says Zahav or Kesef or Zahav, right? So what does that mean? He's showing. Am I not that entertaining? We have to look at cauliflower.
Well, there's a snail that's
Well, you gotta wash them.
cruising on the
You gotta wash them.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't expect you. Did you really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Are you
Snail?
eating
That's very nice of
cauliflower
you.
Snail?
raw like it's
Really?
potato chips?
Okay, this is totally Yitzhara. Stop it. Stop it.
Totally.
These guys
That if a person does
I
not,
gotta show this to my wife. They're eating cauliflower raw like it's potato chips.
No one's eating it. It's just the table.
that if somebody does a mitzvah, he acquires, right?
We want
He
you to
acquires Osher, Zev, Osher and Zechut Gadol Olam Haba. Bechol mitzvot matan secharan shaveh. And look what he says. He explains that when you do a mitzvah, what do you do when you don't yell, when you don't let your emotions get the best of you, which is the one common denominator with all the Gedulim. The common denominator with all the Gedulim is midot. You have rabbis, Hasidut. You have Sfaradi rabbis that are all Kabbalah or whatever. You have Ashkenazi rabbis that have their own thing. All the Gedulim on every level is all about midot. That's what makes a gadol. And when a person works on himself, when he keeps his mouth shut when he wants to yell, or if he doesn't steal in business, or he says Shema on time, or does any mitzvah whatsoever, you acquire something. What do you acquire? You're acquiring something. And what do you acquire? You're acquiring osher, riches, and you're acquiring zechut gadol and olam haba. My wife asked me last night, she goes, what's going to happen when Mashiach comes? I told her we're going to get to enjoy the glory of God. And then I said, okay, they're not going to understand what that means, so let me break it down. So I said, imagine, I said it's all in the same breath. I go, imagine you're hanging out with your friends. You go, you like hanging out with your friends? She goes, yeah. I go, now imagine hanging out with the best of friend, now 1,000 times more, 100 million times more, and you get to do that all day? That's enjoying God.
It's fun.
Right? Now we're talking, now we're cooking, now, okay, what do you mean? Tell me more. What is it? We're gonna joke? What are we doing? We're gonna go shopping? What are we gonna do? It sounds great. But that's the point. When you say enjoying the ziva, the Shekhinah, that works for some, but might not work for others. You gotta break it down. You have to understand it's gonna be full enjoyment. But not enjoyment like you might think, like partying and then no, that's the bad stuff.
So it's not shopping.
Huh?
It's not shopping.
It's not shopping. No, it's not shopping.
There might be some shopping.
You have to. For the holidays that don't exist. Purim. Purim's the only holiday that's going to last.
It's gonna be great.
Purim because we did it. We did it. Right?
Give
Kibbur,
it a
Kibbur.
kibbu. Kuba.
Only Purim.
Only Purim.
What's the
That's
star
it.
for Netilat Yadayim?
There is no
Nobody-
such...
nobody
Nobody knows.
knows.
But the Shulchan Aruch says... What does the Shulchan Aruch say about Netilat Yadayim? If you get a haircut... if you cut your nails... And you don't want... Boys, if you cut your nails and you don't wash your hands...
This is
You're going to be anxious for 3 days and you won't know why.
people don't know
Sex,
this.
no, it's crazy.
The
It's
world is
crazy.
going through such a
What about in the morning?
problem
What about in
with
the
this.
morning?
This
Say
is a
by
mental
the way,
health
Shulchan Aruch
crisis.
Aleph, I'll show you here.
Zevi showed me in your
What
space.
happens in the morning? You
got
have the nails, you
You're
get
gonna be
clipped every
nervous.
3
No, you're gonna be
days.
nervous. By the way, you're gonna be very nervous. You're gonna be nervous, but you won't know why. That's the scary part. And it's in Shulchan Aruch. It's not like it's in
Right,
the
Shulchan Aruch.
Chok L'Yisrael. It's in you know what I mean? By the way, by the way, anybody go Eli the haircut guy has a plaque.
Yeah.
Remind everyone, yeah.
That's right.
Is that crazy? He has a
My
plaque.
wife also, she's
He
like
has a
10
plaque that
times.
says whoever
Don't forget to
wash your
don't
cuts his
forget
hair
to wash your
and
hands.
does it. What's it called? Whoever cuts his hair and does it tonight. He's gonna be anxious for 3 days and he won't know why.
6 times.
What? What's happening?
My father washes his hands all day long. You touch your shoes, you tie your shoes.
That's what it says. Touch your body, touch
How'd you
your
get to
hair.
that?
Touch your body that normally,
it's up there.
touch your body that you normally won't cover. So touching here inside is no good, in the back, but touching here is fine because it's all exposed. Okay, so that's all. It's crazy.
How do you start getting into this? It's in here, or if you
No, he just
track?
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
talking about the
No, I'm just asking how
Mitzvah.
it's connected.
No,
So
it's
Chad
not-
mitzvot. So he answered the Chad mitzvot.
Because
Yeah.
we wrote the scholar.
Remember a few shurim ago, he said in the Zera Shimshon,
Someone calls the door.
we don't know the schar mitzvot. Some are.
So that's what we're talking about.
And
So
now
that
he's saying not what the Jews a few weeks ago. He's saying
No.
every mitzvah
is shaveh.
Yeah, and then a few weeks ago we had a whole argument. You said it says in Pirkei Avot, Alti mitzvah.
We're gonna bring that up again. We're gonna bring
Bring it
it up again. We're gonna bring it up. Relax. Don't worry, we're good. Don't worry, I got the answer. So again, so hakol mitzvot matan secharat shaveh. All the mitzvot are equal, like it says in Midrash Rabbah. Midrash Rabbah gives orech hayim pen tefales, right? So it's a pasuk in Mishneh that says that the Hashem doesn't give us the direction of all the mitzvot, doesn't tell us the zachar of the mitzvot because then we might only do one and we're not gonna do the other. Right? So we're all gonna do kibbutz avayim, it's amazing, but we're never gonna do shuvah haken, which both says arichut yamim.
I did Shiloh Haken.
Yeah, me too.
I also.
I did it twice. And every time I did it, I can tell you stories here. But I don't want to have too many people watching. If too many
5,000
likes.
What are you trying to say?
It's
good or bad stories?
It's a long story.
Oh, you don't got time for long. But it's a good story, but you got zechut for it.
Listen,
That's the-
I have a friend that
Your
is
son
called Dermot
Dermot,
Juvan
that's
in
his
America.
fault.
He was started getting rid of the toys that he didn't like what the kids had. He got rid of the Barbie, he threw it out the window, and then he got rid of the male one, he did the mitzvah. He threw out the Ken.
I did it during the day.
Guys, very deep stuff.
I did it during the
Good
day.
joke.
Not much related. Alright, listen, boys, let's focus. So okay, so we are talking about the first part of the Midrash that says that sometimes you get something, you buy kesef, but you don't get zahav, or you get zahav, you don't get kesef. When you do a mitzvah, right, they're all equal. You have to observe them as if they're all equal. Right? And all the mitzvot are equal. Why? Like it says in Midrash Tabah, because the Midrash Tabah gives an example. The Midrash Tabah gives an example of a king who wants to build an orchard, wants to plant an orchard, but he doesn't tell the people what's worth what. He doesn't tell them, but so he comes out and he sees the orchard. Says what? So he says, all right, who planted this pepper tree? So the guy goes, Anna, I did. So he goes, all right, here's a zuz, here's $1. Oh, who planted this tomato thing? Who planted this and that? Okay, who planted that olive tree? He goes, I did. He goes, here's 200 zuz. So the other guys go, well, what are we going to 200 zuz for? We work just as hard. He goes, yeah, but that's worth more. So he goes, but why didn't you tell us? We would have planted. He goes, that's the problem. That's why I didn't tell you.
Exactly.
Because if I would have told you that, then I would have full of olive trees. I don't want only olive trees. I want a parades. I want a garden. If Hashem only, that's why you have this easiest mitzvah.
Here seems to be saying that all the mitzvot are the same sachar.
Can I finish? I'll help you. I'll get you. I'll get
We
you
don't
there.
know.
We don't.
Seems to be saying
No,
here,
he's explaining. No, that's why it's that.
that even the
That's why.
smallest mitzvah is gold and silver and everything.
It is gold.
That's
and
why
silver. Let me
when it
get
says-
there. I'll get there. 1 second.
That's why Ekev Tishmeru.
Right, of course. Ekev Tishmeun. By the way, you know what the Havetz Chaim says? Something really, really scary. Really, really scary. He says everybody's very, very careful to make sure not to be over on 3 big sins. Gilui Arayot, Shifchut Damim, Avodah Zarah. Those are the easy ones. You know the averot that come after you by Yom Adin is Lashon Hara.
All the little ones.
But he goes, but not only that, but Lashon Hara is the worst. Because you created it with your mouth, you gave them the ability to speak.
To who? The averot.
No, not all the averot, but that, the Lashon Hara.
Wow.
And the Havetz Chaim says that they are vocal, Kiviyachol, at Yom Adin,
Imale.
and it's extremely, extremely embarrassing. From all the Malachim, in front of everybody, the words, it's like, "Ugh, it's horrible. It's horrible. And why? Because you spoke Lashon Hara. Be very careful. Everyone's got to learn the
Don't
halachot of
speak
Lashon Hara.
Lashon
Havetz Chaim. You got to learn them. It's so easy. You know why you don't want to do it? Because the Yetzer Hara is pushing so hard not to do it. And you know why he's pushing so hard not to do it?
What?
Because it's so important. To learn the halachot of Havetz Chaim. Learn the halachot of Lashon Hara.
Do one before the Zera Shimshon every year now, from now. One,
not a bad
quick
idea.
one.
It's a great one.
All right,
Chafetz
okay.
Chaim-
Remind me, I have it upstairs. That's not a good idea.
Charles,
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. The Chafetz Chaim says that if you learn all the halachas, and at the end you go like this, I could never do it. He said that's already a milah. That's already a high level.
Because you know how hard it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have to go through the whole thing. I just read the first 20 seconds. There's no way.
So again, what does he do? He connects. The Torah tells you, he gives you zechut. He tells you the zechut of two mitzvot. One in the whole Torah, all the things that we have, two mitzvot. One is shiluch haken, shooing away the mother bird, and two is kimud avayim. Why? And they both give the same halakha, right? Why does it say Leman Yichud Yamecha? Because to show you that the easiest are the easiest and the hardest are the hardest, is the same one. It's the same one. The easiest are the easiest and the hardest are. Why does it do that? Because well, if we gave the mitzvot, we gave the reasons for the mitzvot, you're going to have a guy that does one big mitzvah versus a guy that does not such a big mitzvah, and he's going to make fun. He goes, listen, I got zahav, you got kesef. I got what I got. You understand? Because now imagine you made $1 million and I made $1,000. You're gonna have a little whatever. You're gonna
Also, if we knew the reward, we'll be running after the big mitzvah.
Also, that's the midrash in Devarim. Very true. When one guy does one mitzvah and the other guy does another mitzvah, lo yamar ehad. He doesn't want. Hashem doesn't want. One guy's gonna say, "I did the hamura one. I'm getting zahav." You did the kala one, right? You're gonna get the kesef, right? Sachar merubah v'sachar muad. Era kulan shavot v'sacharan merubah. And you should know what the Zohar HaKadosh says, that nobody knows what someone else's Olam Haba looks like. You understand? Your world is your own. Customized.
You mean up there when it's
Up there, yeah. What do you mean?
no? So like so that everyone is like on his own.
Because you could do one thing in your life that could give you endless amount of reward, and you don't even know about it.
And also the amount of effort that you put into certain mitzvot might be worth
I'll tell you
to
something. Yeah.
as opposed to someone else who does it very easily, and therefore you get a lot more schar because.
No,
of
I'm just saying like I want
Right.
to meet the guys, up there. I don't want to be alone there.
No, don't worry. I'm sure Hashem's got it covered. I'm sure.
You're not alone.
I'm sure Hashem's got it covered. I have to put it that way. So that's why Pirkei Avot says, boys. That's why you have to be careful with an easy mitzvah as you are with a hard mitzvah. Because you don't know the reward of the mitzvot. You just don't know. So you have to be meticulous.
What's the reward?
Sachar. So that's the first part. That's the difference between zahav or kesef. Now what's the second one? We said sadot or keramim. You buy a piece of land, it could be good for planting or it could be good for planting vines. I'm not in Brooklyn. I don't know. We don't have grass in Brooklyn. So it was, what's the second one? Then iyun. This is, by the way, this is gorgeous. Pay attention. So look what it says. She'adam mehadesh umotzi parperaot lehochma. Now what is iyun? We talked about is hidushim. When a person's able to bring out a hidush, something so delicious and something so beautiful for right from the Torah. It's very similar to sadot deker, fields and vineyards. Why? Because they also produce. A hidush is something that you produce, something new. That's what a hidush is.
Pri, a good pri.
Yeah, peri hadash, right? So now look what it says. It's very similar to sadot keramim. There are lands that are good for sowing, right, seeds, but they're not good for planting grapes. And they have the opposite also. Yesh lehepech. About iyun Torah, but for the Torah, right? Mi sheme'ayen ba mehadesh ba. Wow. Kol minei hidushin. Right? But the person that is iyun beTorah is going to have everything. He's going to have sadot and he's going to have keramim.
I show you how like the Torah is better than the 3 mekachs.
Yes, exactly. In each way, the fact that the Torah is split, the three things.
Right.
One is maaseh, one is iyun, and one is sod. So we went through the maaseh to show the mitzvot. That's why the Torah does not give. It's amazing. The sachar and mitzvot. Why does the Torah not say the sachar and mitzvot? Because Hashem doesn't want you to do some and not the
that's
others.
sitting there.
Because He knows that you.
And his son.
Oh, so next to. It's also good. That's fine. Okay. The second one we did was the iyun. We're in the middle of iyun. That
This is fun. This is what I'm listening.
He's good, he's good. But so, give the guy something to eat.
No,
The
no,
guy
I don't
works.
know.
My wife made brownies.
Don't ask him, by the way, you're not supposed to ask a guest, do you want to eat?
Give me the
You're
brownies.
supposed to give him a plate.
He's your guest.
You don't ask, so somebody please give. We got Charlie coming.
Give me the brownies.
Doesn't matter.
Give me the
We got
brownies
Charlie,
on
the
my
poppers,
plate.
the poppers aren't here yet.
My wife made these brownies.
Alright, I'll give him a round. Alright, look. So again, come on boys, let's focus. So Helek Ayun is what? Is Mehadesh Motzi Parpeot LaChuma.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna come to listen. Get some soul food. That's what I came for.
Alright, good. So we'll give you some soul food. Aval Ayun
It
HaTorah.
was not easy.
Mi sheme'ayin ba, shh, everybody. Alright, good. But the sauce for that is in the fridge. You got it covered? Okay, I'm just making sure. Mi sheme'ayin ba mehadesh ba kol minei chidushim, ve'notea torato b'zichrono.
Everything, we got some ice apart.
Okay, everyone, I have your attention?
Yes.
Good?
Can I have your
Whoa.
Okay, so again, we had Maaseh, we went through Maaseh, and now we're in the middle of the Iyun. The Iyun we're explaining that is Mehadesh Motzi Parpeot La Torah. Right? Iyun, what does the Iyun mean? The Torah split into three things. Doing the mitzvot, studying the Torah, and coming up with new Hidushim, and learning the halachot, and Sod, which we didn't talk about yet. So we went through Maaseh. It talks about, Maaseh is all about, No, that's something else. That's how to explain the Torah. You have Parshat, you can explain the Torah through Parshat, through Dirash, through Remez, and through Sod. That's separate. But over here, we're talking about there's three avenues of how to serve, let's say, or how to handle the Torah. First one is the mitzvot. You do the mitzvot. I go to shul because I'm supposed to go to shul. Okay, very good. You get a mitzvah for that. The second way is Iyun. Iyun is learning Torah, teaching Torah, and coming up with Hidushim. And we compare it to fields and to vineyards. Why? Because there's sometimes the land is gonna you buy a land that can handle vineyards, and sometimes you'll buy a land that can handle fields. But it's very rare to be able to buy both. The Torah's got both. Why? Someone who's analyzing is able to come up with all different types of new things. But it's amazing, but it's true because any type of hidushim, you can have hidushim in Hasidut, in I don't know, all the different facets of who we are. You could anything on the same pasuk. On the same pasuk.
Shivim panim.
Shivim panim Torah. So it's amazing that you could produce that from the Torah from nothing.
But on the one hand, Torah is limitless.
Huh?
On one hand, Torah is limitless.
Correct.
On the other hand, since you put in Torah, that makes it limitless.
Very good point. No, but each one of the 70 ways are limitless. But very good, nice one.
No, that's by Shlomo Melech. He knew like 3,000 imukim on 3,000 imukim. Like incredible. We won't get there. The Matanah from Hashem.
Of course, matanah, but all chokhmah, which we're going to say now actually, is always a matanah from Hashem.
I'm saying Shlomo
And
Melech had
Zera
that.
Shimshon-
But Shlomo Melech had it and still didn't know Torah Adar.
Right, but I do that right. A chokmi mani.
Yeah.
You have to. By the way, you know, in the Hakdama of Zera Shimshon, I recommend each one of you to read it in the English, the Art Scroll. His entire Hakdama is consistent in Pesukim, paraphrasing Pesukim. It's a poem. It's a poem explaining the obligation of. By the way, Sasha, you'll cry. You'll cry. It's a poem. It's so unbelievable. Shh.
Which poem?
The Hakdama of Zera Shimshon.
Yeah.
And gracious.
Bereshit, you gotta look at the Bereshit one, it's not in that one.
Tell me something. How this
I'll
right?
send it out.
It has to be
Yeah,
number
please.
3. How many volumes are there
10.
of this?
Yes. 10 volumes Art Scroll. Buy them one at a time like everyone else does.
No, Vadai.
Yeah, so that's what we did. That's what we all do. You buy them as we go.
So we're on 3 now.
We're on 3. Okay. No,
When did
one
we-
more. No,
No.
we're on 3. Open it, look on the side, it'll tell you.
Here it says 3.
That's three. That's
No, 3 and
Three of
Shemot.
Oh, that's 3 in Shmos.
Look on the side, it probably says 6 or something.
6 or 7.
Okay, so why? Because what does it say? When you learn, and you be'iyun in the Torah, boys, listen up, come on. מי שמעיין בה מחדש בה כל מיני חידושים, ונוטה התורה בזיכרונו, and the Torah is implanted into your memory. Why? Because the pilpul helps you memorize what you learn. The pilpul, which sometimes I know people walk out of very confused, but when you get it, it stays with you forever. When you get it, it stays with you forever. If you walk out confused, that just means you shouldn't leave. And you should do it one more time. Like, but there's a famous Gemara, and I love this Gemara, in Ketuvot Kov Gimel
That's why
Amud
you go over
Bet.
it so many times.
Huh?
That's why you go over it so many times. You start again every time.
My boy. Why? By the way, there's two Tanaim. Yeah. 101. There's two Tanaim that they were being cholek on what the halakha was on something. Rabbi Hanina and Rabbi Hiya. Okay, two giants, and they say, one says, he goes, you have to trust me that the halakha is like me. He goes, why? He goes, because if the Torah was forgotten in the world, God forbid, I'd restore it through Pilpul. So Gemara Ketuvot. I would restore it through Pilpul. And the other rabbi says that, well, if the God forbid, what I would do is I would, you know what he says? He says I would buy deer. I would shech the deer, give the meat out to children.
No, he did it. Yeshuot ben Levi, he did it.
No, it's not Yeshuot ben Levi. It's Rabbi Hiya. Rabbi Hiya and Rabbi Hanina are arguing.
Is this
What if the
Benny
Torah was-
Mendoza?
But one of them did
No.
it.
He says I wouldn't even have to
Rabbi
restore it.
Hanina.
That's
Yeah, who was it?
He was the one that said I wouldn't even have to restore
He
it.
did
I,
it.
yes.
I wouldn't even have to
He
restore
says
it.
I
He
would
did it.
never let it be forgotten in the first
Because
place.
he did it.
Listen, he says, I'm good, thanks. He says you should listen to me because the first one says you should listen to me because if the Torah Goffin was ever forgotten, I'd restore it to the world through people. And he says, and the other one says, no, you should listen to me because I would make sure that the Torah would never be forgotten in the first place. How? Because I said he goes through the whole detailed thing
Of what
of
he did.
buying deer, not what he did, what he would do.
No, but the Gemara says he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta keep reading. I read the Gemara. I don't know about that, does it?
There's one, I don't know if it's the same story. There's a Tana that did exactly what you said. He went, he shechted deers, he hunted
And what did he do with
deers.
the hide? He wrote
With the skin,
scrolls
He wrote Sefer Torah and he gave it to little
to the kids.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and what does he say? Teach someone else.
I thought it was Shuban Levi. He's saying Rabbi Chia.
It's definitely Bechia. And he tells him what? And he tells him learn. Shishasi Dere Mishai. Look up Ketubot. It's over there. Right there. Yep, right there. The third one. Next one.
Ketubot,
Yep,
Kaf Gimel, Kuf
Kav
Gimel.
Gimel. Give them. Kav Gimel. It's there. It's probably highlighted. So he says I'll handle. Because I would make sure that it wouldn't happen in the first place. And the Hidushim she said. By the way, so now the Zera Shimshon
This
explains.
is the third volume.
Oh, you need the second one. I'm sorry. So now he explains what are the two things you need in order to
The
be
first one, maybe.
in order. No, Kav Gimel. Kov Gimel. I said.
Kuf Gimel?
Yeah.
Ah, I thought you said
Sorry,
Kaf
this is the third
Gimel.
one. Yeah, I said the third one. Sorry. So the Hidushim, he says, in order to make Hidushim, you need two things. You need to have two things. You ready?
Yeah.
The first thing you need is a good memory.
Okay.
Zera Shimshon's writing this. In
Thank
order
you,
to write
Hashem.
Hidushim, by the way, the Baal Magid, okay? The Zikaron Tov Mimash Mikol Shema Shelamad. He has to remember what he learns. Because he's got to remember, he's got to be able to refer to it. If you're going to take something from Shulchan Aruch and connect it to something in the Gemara and something in the Zohar and something in the Midrash, then you need to remember all these things because you got to be able to put it together.
He has a lot of sources.
Do how many we did until now?
He knows everything. What?
How many did we do until now?
You have, okay, by the way, you have Shemot Rabbah, you have a Pasuk, you have Mishleh, you have another Pasuk, you have Megillat Esther, that's 5 so far. You have a Gemara, you have Midrash Rabbah, you have Avot, Masechet Avot.
You have Zera Barech.
That's I included that, right. You have Rosh Hashanah is coming up. You have 9 so far that I just skimmed through on one derasha of many. Okay?
All at his fingertips. Unbelievable.
Yes, legit all his videos. Unbelievable. So that's the first thing. The first thing you need is a great memory to remember what you learned. The second thing you need is very important, straightforward logic. You need to have sechel yashar le'ayin ulhavin davar shemitoch davar. You have to be able to remember what you need to be able to remember one thing from the other. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Here.
You
Here it is, I
can't-
found
You
it.
found it? Did he do it at the end or no?
It sounds like he did it. He did it.
Sounds or he did it?
He
Because
did
two
it.
different
He
things.
did it. He did it. Listen.
He did?
He says, you want me to read it?
Yeah.
He says, in response, he answers,
Put the camera on him.
but I perform actions that ensure, I perform
Oh,
actions
right, that'd be Hayah.
that ensure that Torah will not be forgotten from Israel in the first place.
Right.
For I bring flaxseed and grow and sow it, and once the flaxseed is grown, I weave nets with it, and with the nets I trap deer, and I
So
feed.
he's saying he's doing that already.
Yeah, and I feed meat
As
of
in,
the
what
deer
I'm doing is
to
gonna make sure that it's
orphans,
never gonna be
to
done.
orphans,
And I teach them Torah.
and I prepare scrolls of parchment, the sulfur, from the hides of the deer, and I go up to a city where they are no teachers.
Right. By the way, you understand? By the
For
way,
the
he's
young
giving you the secret.
children,
It's
and
crazy.
on the parchment I write the
Unbelievable.
5 books
Right. Torah.
for 5 children.
Right. Oh, so each one learns each
One
Wow.
book for each child.
And that way that child teaches many children.
One order to each child.
Right.
Amazing. Huh?
Well, it's good you knew where it was.
Yeah, well, Zera Shimshon did. I just read it. But thanks.
Take the credit.
Good Torahs.
So again, so you need to have good memory, and this is very important. You need straightforward thinking. Why do you need straightforward thinking? Because you can't mess up what the Torah is trying to tell you. Like we said this story, I'll tell you a story, a funny one. Someone came to Rabbi Eli Mansour in Brooklyn, and tells him, Rabbi, I got a Hidush for you. He gives him a Hidush, and then he saw the Rabbi didn't like it. The Rabbi wasn't buying it. So the guy goes, Rabbi, stop, it's 70, Shivi Panim Torah, it could be, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, but this is the 71st one. that's not right. You have to have Sechel Yashar. Le'ayen ulhavin davar mitoch davar. Right? Dehainu mamash kemo sadot, exactly like Sadot Kramin. You need to know which land is ripe for this product. You can't put produce, you can't plant etrogim in Brooklyn. Because if you do, they ain't gonna work, it's not gonna fly. That's the whole thing.
But a tree grows in Brooklyn.
Not fruit bearing.
But also, it's the same thing with when you're talking to people. You also have to know what kind of fruit that person is willing to accept. You know, there's sometimes-
Also, very good. Very good.
right? Because sometimes people are just like, I don't get it. You know, you start talking.
You're talking a different language, buddy.
Yeah, right, exactly. You
Very good.
gotta know which language to talk to them.
שצריך שהארץ תהיה ראויה, right? The land has to be ראוי, גם לנטייה כמו תהיה ממין הענווה הטובה. You need to know, bottom line, you need to know which land is right for what product. So same thing. It's amazing, right? Now we're going to get to the sword. Let's get to the sword. וכנגד חלד הסוד עמד,
One nation from Canaanites who knows where to plant, which kind.
Shlomo HaMelech knew the secrets of the streams that were coming out of Beit HaMikdash. He knew where the streams go to the whole universe, and there he knew where to plant all the stuff.
I'm telling you, it's one of the biggest, the curse of Adam and Yeshuot that we have to work. You don't realize how much the curse is really related to our learning. If we didn't have to worry about money, we'd be able to sit and learn so much more. Because God bless you, older, and you know the value of the Torah, and you would want to attach yourself to the Torah.
It's true.
It's true. And you can't, because of Adam and Yeshuot, who we are part of, by the way.
That's מבחינת עולם הבא. Like we just sitting and start.
Sitting what?
עולם הבא. מבחינת עולם הבא.
Yeah.
We just sitting and start.
Sitting and start, right. Right. Enjoying the Ziv Shekhinah.
That's why Friday afternoons is so challenging.
Friday afternoon, yeah.
It's so
why?
difficult because that's the original chet.
Right.
Wow.
So one of the biggest challenges between husband and wife are always
Tikkun
Friday
Yesod.
afternoons. Yeah, that's why you have to be very careful about how you respond to your wife. on
Be
Friday.
patient.
Be patient, yeah.
Patient.
I don't come home until Shabbos.
Now when something goes wrong, you're like, I gotta go shul.
Time to go.
There's
It's 2 o'clock yesterday. Time to go.
there's a segula to put the tablecloth, the white tablecloth on the table before Hatzot.
Yeah.
Shalom Bayit.
Okay.
I tried it. I have to admit, it works a little bit.
A little.
A little bit's worth it, yeah.
A little bit is
little bit.
Let's talk about Yesod. Now, remember, what's this Yesod? That no one knows the value. That's Yesod. Remember, Yesod, not Yesod. Sod. Right? The person comes and tells you, Loker Mekar ve'en adam yodea mahu. There's a person there's something that a person acquires, he doesn't even know what he acquired. Right? This is the Sod part. Now we're going to get to the Sod. Mi sheyodea sodot. Even someone who knows the secrets of the Torah, kama devarim sharim mimenu ne'lamim. There's always going to be parts that are hidden from him.
whatever you think you got.
Why? Why? This is very important, especially here, because you cannot buy books of Sod in English. You cannot buy books.
I'll be right Kaplan. No.
I love Rabbi Kaplan, but I
No, it's not the same. It's not the same.
No,
He doesn't teach you the same. It's not the same. He
Sodot
doesn't give you the
Torah.
sod.
Sodot.
He doesn't give you yeah, he doesn't like give you like
very
the
filtered.
actual-
Kaplan.
Yeah, it's very
It's very
filtered.
good.
Zal, he wrote books about Sod.
Very good, very good, very
But
good.
if
I have
you,
all set here.
but if you want to know Sod, you have to see the Otios.
Yeah.
You're on the money. You're on the money. Why?
That's
Why?
why
Why
Rabbi
have to
Chaim
see it?
Vidal.
Vital, right. Why? Because there's certain things cannot be spoken. There's certain things that cannot be spoken about.
Rabbi, not
Not
only.
Rabbi. I'm not
I know,
Rabbi.
Charles.
I'm not. Yeah.
Charles,
Or
give a kick. I'm going to talk to an Ashkenazi, also not Ashkenazi. Give a kick.
I don't know what that means.
Exactly. It's not just no. The Rabbi Chaim.
We got
Zal,
Zaygasot going on.
And
That was a big step.
they would say the combinations. They would say the combinations of the otiot, but etzem that you see the otiot, that you see Yud K Vav K, that has sod and ashpa'ah on you directly into your brain
Exactly.
and neshama.
Exactly. By the way, it's exactly
Which is
what
why
Zera Shimshon does now.
reading Kabbalah,
It's
even if
exactly-
you don't understand it, has a big Rosh Hashem on you.
Yes, that's the only thing you can read and not know what you're reading, and you have it because even if you think you know it, you don't.
Right, but
So
the
it
thing
doesn't
that you see,
Now we're
they
gonna
have
do a
a
little
shpa'ah on your
Kabbalah
neshama
class.
from seeing the
Close your
otiot.
eyes now.
Well, you know what else I saw? If you learn Midrash, it's the same level as reading the Gemara. Yeah,
I love Midrash.
I know you do, but you still gotta learn Gemara. But
I'm learning them, bro.
I know, no. I'm just saying
I wish I was learning more Midrash.
Same people.
So look, so what's
Same
that
time,
saying? He's saying
players.
that there's certain things that can't be spoken. And how does the person know? Ela shemi shezocher. The person is zocher, like Mesilat Yesharim says, right? You gotta earn Kiddusha. It doesn't come to you. You don't earn Kiddusha. It comes to you.
It is.
Right? Sorry. Ela mi shezocher mevin midato shemin hashamayim meirin nishmato kedei sheyasig v'sichlo ledvarim setumim.
You can't explain it.
You're not gonna be able. No, you can't write it
Yeah,
down.
right, tell it, it's a little-
By the way, you open Zohar. I say it all the time. It's a bunch of stories. There's a lot of stories. Midrash stories.
Neshama gets a hara.
You have no idea what's inside. What you think is a story is not a story. You don't know the Sodot that are inside, but you can't write it.
That's right.
You know the Gemara, by the Mishnayot and the Gemara, that was like pushing it. We got lucky that we got that. But Sodot, forget about it. That's out of the question altogether. You can't write that down. That's why whatever you think you're reading, you're not really reading. And the only way you get to be Zocher to understand is if you're Zocher, if you get to see it. And that's exactly what the Mekach that you don't even know what you have. That's the same thing. כדי שישיג בשכלו דוד סתויים, וזה מוכרח מקנה ההוד שזכה משה. And this proves it from the face of Moshe Rabbeinu that came down and he didn't even know it, that he was all bright. Why? Because Moshe Rabbeinu was zocher for the 50 levels of Binah.
So the Torah is the best mekach, because even the metavech doesn't even know how good it is.
Right. Even the who?
The metavech, the guy
The broker.
Moshe
The
Rabbeinu,
broker.
even- So
But
any person.
he only knows, how do you only know? You only know it if you're zocher. It's not something you can read in the book.
Hashem wants to give it to you. If you're
That's the point.
Yeah.
Only if Hashem wants to give it to you, which is crazy, by the way. Which is crazy. You know, think about it. How many times you're walking, you're thinking, all of a sudden, like something just comes to you.
That's right.
Wow, that's a gift from Hashem. That's no joke. That's real.
It's in learning. So it's talking
That's
about
okay, but-
learning.
but
Sometimes
that's-
you read the
that's-
same sefer and like this line, okay, and then sometimes like, oh.
Right, because it connects with you. So now, knowing this, you can answer a different question. It says, Al ta'azbu et hamecha sheratati lachem. Remember we said that he says that don't leave this great mekach that I'm giving you, this great asset. But the question is, what makes you think that somebody would leave something like this? Now, I'm not giving that. Some things have kesef, some things have zahav.
Not understanding,
Right?
not understanding
But
what it
why
is.
would you leave it?
Not understanding what it is.
No. What about the other two? The kesef zahav, zahav and kesef, sadot karamim, karamim sadot.
Because you.
Why would
Why
you
would we
think
want
I
to
would
leave
leave
the
that?
Torah? Why
would you
would
wanna
we
leave?
want to leave the Torah?
That's the question.
That's the question.
That's the question.
Yeah.
What makes you think? Why does the Midrash have to warn us not to leave? If you're going through this gorgeous thing, like, hey, it sounds amazing. What makes you think I'm going to ever want to leave? That you have to warn me not to leave? There's a reason. V'yesh lomar, listen. Sheba להשמיע is coming to teach us שאינו דומה שכר של מי שעושה מצווה אחת בשנה למי שעושה אותה בכל יום. He's going to explain now 3 different reasons why he has to write it.
Why you might think that he's going to leave the Torah?
Yes, all based on the maaseh, the iyun, and the sod, in like 7 lines. You can't compare someone who does a mitzvah once a year versus somebody that does it every day. You can't compare them. So it's the same thing. Maaseh. Don't leave it. Don't not go to shul. You go once, you think you're a hero. Imagine if you went all year. That's what he's saying. How amazing it is. That's the first one.
But this is something you have to teach a child
From young.
From day
By the way, I
young.
saw a video. I'm going to tell you. Shame on us. I'm going to call us all out. Shame on us. If these Yemach Shema v'Zichram are able to teach such hate at such a young age, Okay, shame on us that we can't teach our kids.
No,
to
No,
go
but
to
there's a
shul
hands
level.
down.
Yeah.
It's much
Yeah,
easier.
there was
that
much
video
easier-
that week.
Yeah.
Much
I don't
easier-
care, I don't
wait,
care.
Much easier to teach the fun of hate and murder than to teach.
Say it all you want. We're not trying hard enough. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying no,
So then that's it.
but
Then that's
but
it. Then that's it.
but I don't know if I can exactly compare it.
Try as hard as them, and then we can talk.
That's harsh. That's harsh.
Listen,
Why is it harsh?
It's like dinim.
What is?
We can't even imagine what's going on with our children if we can't understand.
You see pictures. You see pictures of them with the kids. We can't get our kids to do the
Basically.
זה לא מצא עשה
I
אלוקים,
understand what it
right?
is, but are we trying as hard as they are?
it's
So that's
different.
not-
It's wait, no, it's
That's
not.
the- that's-
I don't agree with that.
You don't have to agree.
I'll tell you why. Because we are teaching our kids in school, don't hit him, no, don't slap him, no,
How
don't push
hard
him
are we
away.
trying?
And we do it. We do it. Our kids are mentions. Their kids are what?
All
Hit
of
him, punch him, hit him.
Not all our kids are mentioned.
No,
But it's
their
much
kids
easier.
no.
It's much
No,
easier
our
to hate
kids
than it is to love.
Much easier.
Agreed.
So Sarah Imenu, she saw this filth of them and she said, Lo yirasht ben amayim apni Yitzchak. She saw the filth of this Adam.
Sounds
She
the
kicked
best.
them out.
I mean, it's the
Even
best.
Hashem
But
regrets.
you know,
I want to finish this Zera Shimshon because we have another one to do. So again, the first one is to compare what on Maaseh. You can't compare somebody that does the mitzvah once a year versus someone that does it every day. And Kol Shekin, that's someone that runs to go do the mitzvah. Which means what? The more motivation you have, or the more consistency you have, the better it is. What's better, giving $100 one shot to tzedakah, or giving $10 10 different places?
According to the Rambam, $10 10 different places.
Why?
Because it trains you to
Because it trains you to
give.
do more mitzvahs.
And I'll give you a different way to look at it. That I heard a different way to look at it.
Amen.
Also, Rabbi Mansour. No, Rabbi Yedid, Rabbi Meir Yedid.
Oh.
If you go to the gym and you do one rep of 100 pounds versus 10 reps of 10 pounds, you're gonna get more out of the 10 reps of 10 pounds.
For sure.
Versus the one rep of 100 pounds.
Well,
So you,
What's-
it's
what's
true.
the- what's the-
Yeah, when was the last time you went?
What's the difference between that and what Yosef just said?
Why?
Yeah, he just said if you scatter $10.
You literally walked in 4 seconds ago. What are you doing to me? Go ahead. No, I agree. I'm saying it's a different. No.
I don't understand. Help me understand.
All right, don't give me that.
I'm lacking.
This is building that point.
$10 to 10 different places because you're increasing your muscle of giving, as opposed to what you said.
No, but
is
he said he's
muscle.
making 10 different mitzvot, right, Yosef?
no.
The Rambam.
What does he say?
Rambam says that you give $10 to 10 places because it will train you to do more mitzvot, to give more.
Isn't that what you said? It's the
Same
same
thing.
thing.
Slight chilek.
Does the Rambam
4 seconds ago. I'm saying 4 seconds ago.
I come to,
Right, to wake them up.
I did this target with my son. I said, here, we have $100, and we can give it to tzedakah. Who do I give it to? So my son is thinking about families he knows in Beit HaRelit that need the $100. Okay, I said, okay, you know what? Let's try this instead. Let's go downtown in B by the pizza shop at lunchtime. How
Pizza
many
B.
Bachurei Yeshivot are
Where's
coming
B?
out in
B
Beit
and
HaRelit?
Beitar. There's A and B and
Okay,
C.
how many Bachurim? You see 3 Bachurs and they're doing this. One guy's in the middle like this,
Oh, yeah.
and they're great. They're counting. They want to buy a piece of pizza. So I said, well, wait. So I said, this. Now what we'll do is we'll give each one $10 so they can buy a whole pizza for their group.
Nice.
And we did it a lot, by the way, a lot. And I
So
said,
simple.
okay, so which was the better tzedakah? We fed all these Bochrei Yeshiva when it was time for them to eat. Now they went back and learned. And they also learned how to give tzedakah because they were the recipient of tzedakah for Essen, Tag Essen.
Right.
As one family, it's nice. There are families that need to have $100 to buy for the whole family for Shabbos. Not saying it's not nice, but the $10 lesson.
Got more for your value.
In terms of my son learning tzedakah,
He also did it with his
we
goof.
did it.
He did it with his goof. He went out and did it.
I don't
He didn't
agree.
just.
Oh, it
find it out.
was good.
I'm joking.
It was a good. It was a good.
Point
It
made.
was. We did it, and it was a good thing.
No, it is good. Okay, so look, we went through the first one about Maaseh, right? You can't compare the guy Yoni that does something once a year versus the guy that does something every day of the year, and you definitely can't compare the guy that runs the shul instead of just going to shul, running doing mitzvot. The second thing is important. Okay, the second one is the iyun. You can't compare a guy. You can't expect. Look, you can't come to class and be on your phone the whole time and walk out saying, It's on you. You can't do that.
Is he bringing this now to tell us why we maybe would leave the Torah?
Yeah,
Of a
because
guy
if
that
you
did a
don't do it
mitzvah.
enough, you're not
Did a
going to
mitzvah
get out of
once
it.
a year.
Yeah.
He goes to Yom Kippur on Shul. He doesn't know.
He's explaining that there's no, what's it called? He's explaining that, Kamo Soda.
There's no
Here.
no easy way out.
Yeah.
Put it this one. So again, so,
No.
just do it.
No, we put it down.
Yeah, Charles, the issue is that a person has like a model of themselves, and like if you just do something one time, it's like you do it like you do an amazing job, like like in your own mind's eye, like I did an amazing job, but if you do it every single day, then you won't even be thinking about it, and it'll be like it'll be the image of abstraction to a large extent. You do it all the time. You'll have that much diversity.
Right. Okay, I didn't hear everything you said, but I think it's good. Alright, look. The second thing, guys, come on, I can't. Shh. The second thing is what's the second thing? The second thing is that someone that's constantly Be'yun, you cannot. I'm gonna wait. The thing when you're not constantly Be'yun,
Don't.
right? You cannot come up with Hidushim. You can't expect to come up with a Hidush if you're not gonna live the Torah.
This is watch out with this.
We gotta wash it. We'll wash it right.
No, you
We'll
can't
use a
wash it.
hose.
This is a thing that you almost can't eat it. It's
I stopped before because I want everyone to be quiet.
It's all right.
Don't worry about it. No one's eating the
almost-
cauliflower.
He's eating it.
Oh, don't eat it. You gotta wait. You gotta wait.
I gotta wait.
Okay.
This is one of the only things that you can almost
Legit.
can't eat.
Shh, guys, please.
Guys, you know there's a bracha to make this cauliflower. It's al shmias ha'usnaim.
Boy,
You cannot compare somebody that learns Torah once a week versus somebody that learns Torah every second of every day. And he's telling you, never leave the Torah. You want to be mehadesh, you need to put your own effort into it, and you will be able to receive. But don't expect. It's silly. It's like the guy that goes to the gym, but he's on his phone the whole time, and everyone else is working out, taking selfies.
Can I add a specific over here?
Yeah, you're the gym guy. You know.
All of our yes, in terms of practice does make whatever.
Form.
Yeah, you do
Form.
over and over again.
How you gonna get form?
And before
Over and over
Shabbos,
again.
in terms of religion, every son of every father is required to read the entire Parshat. It's a good standard.
Every son,
Of every father.
say every kid.
Okay, but it's dependent on the fathers to implement the practice.
I believe Parshat
you
Shemot
can't,
is super
You're
important.
saying in the week or first bar
Huh?
mitzvah?
In the week, every week.
Oh, cool, I
To
like
read-
that.
To read the Parsha every week.
That should be
Even
it.
in English. Even in English.
The
You know,
Abba-
Kivat Abam is what? Is bet and
Kid
man.
or the Abba?
Bet is bet a sheep and ki mem is mem matai kori kirat shema. Rashi v'tav Rashi v'alpeh. He's the both. Okay. So again, you can't compare me. Hashem's telling you, you're gonna get such unbelievable things, but you have to do the work. You have to do the work. Right? So umi shelo yatmid be'iyun, constant be'iyun, lo yehadesh kemo mi shetamid osek ba. You're not gonna be able to be mehadesh something like a guy that's always with it. Umi shelo mishtadeh le'asik besodot haTorah, the third thing, the last one. And someone is not constantly learning the sodot of the Torah, lo yasigem, you're not gonna get it. You can't learn the heavy stuff once a week and expect not to get it. Bless you. Now I know Shabtai Svi ruined the salt part of the Torah for a lot of people. Okay, but you should know, especially the Halabim back in the day. If you go to shuls, the old guys are still learning all they learn Zohar and all these things. There's a way and a time and a place to learn everything, but it's got to be learned.
It must be Rabbi Mansour's learning. So this is it must be.
A lot of rabbis.
They just don't talk about it.
You're not supposed to.
It's sneers.
Yeah, 100. By the way, I went to go see a rabbi in Bnei Brak. That's super. That's like huge mikubal, huge, and he had the Zohar Matok last year, and then we walked in. He had another book here, and as we walked in, he went like this. So we shouldn't see.
The Zohar.
Zohar. Parshat, Terumah, Kaveh.
When I was a
He never saw
bucker,
us before. We don't know who he is. We never met him.
when I was a bucker,
What's his name?
when I was a bucker,
Steve Friedman, I'll tell
my
you.
friend learned at a different yeshiva than me. I'm not going to say which one. He went to the yeshiva and he climbed up the whole bookcase to get to a sefer on top, and he starts to open it up. He starts to look at it and read it. the mashgiach came and gave him a frost. Whack! He said, do you know, he slams the book shut. He says, do you know what you took from up there? There's a reason why we put it up there.
What was it?
Sefer Yetzirah. He says, you want to blow up the Beit Midrash? He said, no, it was a copy of Sefer Yetzirah. He didn't know.
Oh, he didn't know.
You know what it was? We were 17 years old. But he got a frost for that.
Why? You could be Sefer Yetzirah. You think you're gonna know how to do something with it?
No, but the mashgiach told
Don't flatter yourself. Don't flatter yourself.
Listen,
That's great. That's a great line. That's a great line.
Don't
flatter yourself. That's the line of the night.
Let me tell you something.
Like it?
Finish off.
I promise you that if you don't know what you're doing and you go like this on the Limon B'Shesh, at least you go like this. Hey, look at that. What's that hammer doing? You'll only have 4 seconds to flatter yourself.
By the way, you should know the Zera Shimshon, since you're talking about all this stuff, the Zera Shimshon was very strong in Kabbalah Masit. Kabbalah Masit is exactly what you guys are talking about. Sefer Yetzirah, changing forms, doing things, all this. He was very big. There's a story about Zera Shimshon lived next door to the shul, and a fire broke out in the shul. And there's a story that says that he was looking at the fire and was able to extinguish the fire. He extinguished the fire.
What's the Yetzirah?
So there's a book that talks
Adam
about
Rishon.
Adam
Avraham Avinu.
Yeah, so we all used to use it to make a cow.
Avraham Avinu or
It talks about the Aleph Bet there. Talks about the
So
Aleph
it's a
Bet.
book. It's the book that explains how to make stuff. But you can't just do things. It doesn't work that way. You gotta be tahor. You gotta be. It's a whole other story.
Still, we have it.
We got it, but you gotta.
Still,
understand.
if you're 17, you shouldn't touch it.
Agreed. No, get the taraf. In Arabic is taraf. Yeah, the kid's right. Lesson learned. It's fine.
They say also the Zohar.
You know what he
the
did? All
Zohar
his
cannot
Hiddushim. All his
learn
Hiddushim.
if you're not 40.
40. You gotta be 40, married.
We don't paskin like that anymore.
What are we talking about?
The Chokli Israel, there's a Daf of Zohar in it.
Yeah.
And also you have to be 40 to do the Chokli Israel.
That's one daf.
Daf and another daf.
So what's the inyan? What's the inyan?
Anybody with
What's that? What's that? Everyone, shh, quiet. Come on. I'm giving you a secret about the Zera Shimshon that a lot of people don't know. All his Hiddushim that he wrote on Kabbalah, he had buried with him. When he wrote this, he wrote also Hiddushim on Kabbalah.
Can we dug it up?
No, we can't because we don't know where he's buried. We don't know where. We do not know. This is the only thing we have left. We don't have a picture. We don't have a shul. We don't have.
We can have a picture.
Zero. We do not
We
have
know
pictures.
pictures. He was lived 200 years ago.
So I'm explaining what we.
You don't
500
need
years
more.
ago.
Explain what we.
No,
250.
No, like the American Civil War. The
77.
American Civil War.
500 years ago, Ramchal.
250.
Where do you live? Where do
He
you
lived in Italy.
Italy. He was a rabbi.
He
in
was
4
the
big
first
cities.
Italian of the
You know
Jewish
where is it?
mafia.
Huh?
You said you know where is it, no?
You're Italian.
It's one of 2 places. Alright, you want to know the truth?
Yeah.
He lived in Napoli.
Charles found
It
it.
was the Jewish
Charles
mafia.
found
We
it.
know. We know.
Charles found it.
The problem is, no, I'll tell you, which is it's very sad, but it happened a lot in Europe. The cemetery got dug up, like Bet Peras. Anyone know what a Bet Peras is?
Yeah, that's
Bet-
Mishnah mentioned.
Right, Bet Peras is a cemetery that got like uprooted to put a field. So it's actually a building in Italy right now.
But where he was buried?
They built on it. They built
It
on
got
it.
condemned. It was condemned. It was publicly condemned property.
It was so there's machloket. So there's 2 places where there's a new because what happened was we knew where he was buried originally, but they moved it. Don't like cut this up and put it as a separate thing. Like, separate. They where he was originally they dug up a lot of those and moved the bodies to another location. Okay. Now we have someone who lives in Israel. Okay, I won't say his name. He had his secretary research this and find out if he was one of the ones that were moved.
Who is it?
I can't say.
Oh, sorry.
And we know for a fact.
The
We
Zera
believe, we
Shimshon.
know for a fact that he was not moved.
Rabbi,
And the old cemetery was converted, and now
Rabbi
there's,
Chaim.
yeah,
Rabbi, who wrote this?
So I asked Rabbi Silverberg, maybe it's the
What's in
Kiddush
this
Shabbos
place
something.
now?
There was
What's in this
no
place?
Kiddush Shabbos anymore. You can't
That's
go
an
there
apartment
right now.
building. What's Shimshon Chaim?
What's in the cemetery's place now?
Rabbi Shimshon
It's
Chaim.
building.
Building.
Office building.
Stone building?
Office, but stop. Stop office building. It's crazy.
Where is
It's
it?
amazing the building can
The,
function.
the question is what year did it
Fall
happen?
down,
It could
yeah.
be that the Nazi, that
Maybe the building didn't fall down. Charles,
No.
Charles, how come the building didn't fall down yet?
What?
How come the building didn't fall down yet?
Because there's no Kiddush Shabbos anymore.
Because we didn't learn hard enough here. Not a steak.
No. We
That was
don't
the
want to
question.
kill
That was
people.
the
We want to
question.
kill people for.
Yeah, that's what we learned about.
That was
Does the
yesterday.
Kedusha stay or not?
Does the Kiddush Shabbos stay around? So really, the single it doesn't stay. So bottom line, we went through three things tonight. Okay. So by the way, the list one is
If it's a
right.
shul.
So that's what it
If
says.
it's a shul.
That's what it's saying. Don't leave, because if you leave, you're not going to be able to get. You're not going to get it. You can't work out. You can't work out a bad diet, right or wrong. You can't work out a bad diet. If you eat horribly, no matter how much you work out, it's not going to work.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Unfortunately.
Every single thing has its own kav. Nutrition is its own kav. Within health, even sleeping is its own kav.
So that's the thing. That's what he's trying to say. He's saying if you don't, the Midrash is explaining to you that if you don't stick with the Torah 24/7, don't expect to be excited and be inspired and get what you're looking for. No pain, no gain. You gotta work at it. You gotta do
Who's
it.
responsible for that?
You are.
Who's responsible for that?
You are.
You.
Charles, you're the father.
Yeah, we'll talk about with my kids.
The father is responsible for that. If you don't keep your kid,
Yes, you can't expect the kid. You can't expect the kid to not smoke if you're smoking, and telling him don't smoke.
I told him to stop.
that's it. Sometimes you don't want to hear Ba'aba, my friends. Ba'aba, my friends.
Switch it. I'm gonna go to another generation.
You know,
Next
what,
Next
I'll
question.
tell you,
You sit on the
there's some
porch.
parents that used to say,
Stop that,
I'm not one of your friends.
Zot Hanukkah.
Yeah, what I used to tell my